What if I told you that one of Hollywood's sweetest low-key power friendships began with a flubbed line, a live studio audience, and a little sister who arrived on set terrified? And 25 years later, those two women are still lifting each other up on one of the buzziest TV returns of the year? Tonight on USA Pulses, we're spilling the tea on Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. How a tiny role as Rachel's little sister on Friends turned into a real-life sisterhood that's now fueling Season 4 of The Morning Show. Stay with me, because the moments they shared in a light, giggling interview, the confessions about stage fright, the rooftop romance tease, the "you saved me" lines between them, tell a bigger story about loyalty in an industry built on reinvention. You'll hear the warm, human side of two Hollywood icons, the messy backstage realities nobody filmed, and why this friendship could shift more than just headlines. It might change how we think celebrities support each other when the cameras stop. 25 years ago, Reese Witherspoon walked onto the Friends set wearing a bit part and carrying the weight of nerves that most young actors know all too well. Jennifer Aniston, already a living room fixture in millions of homes, didn't look at her like a junior actress. She looked at her like family. In their recent interview ahead of the morning show's Season 4 debut, Reese remembers the first day, terrified, fumbling lines in front of a live audience, and then Jen leaning over with a little secret. Sometimes mess-ups make the audience laugh. That kindness, a small human moment on a big set, became the seed of something real. Over the last 2.5 decades, both women exploded into careers that turned them from sitcom stars into producers, awards darlings, and industry leaders. But the through line is that on that chilly studio stage, acceptance and warmth were the first, simplest acts that bound them together. Fast forward to today, The Morning Show returns for Season 4 on Apple TV Plus on September 17th, and the clip that leaked, or was, strategically teased, shows Reese and Jennifer dancing on a rooftop, Jon Hamm being his usual scene-stealing self, and the hint that Alex Levy's messy personal life might get even messier. In their sit-down, the pair tease a possible tension between Jen's Alex and Boyd Holbrook's bro. Is it real? Reese coyly says there might be something, while Jennifer calls it unlikely, then smiles in that way that says, "We know how to keep the audience wanting more." The trailer shots of rooftop choreography, the glimpse of Jeremy Irons as Jen's father, and the rooftop dance with Billy Crudup all combine to create a narrative that's part workplace drama, part emotional reckoning, part guilty pleasure TV. But the real headline from this interview isn't a rumored romance or a plot twist. It's the human chemistry between two women, who could have been rivals but chose sisterhood. Fans went wild as soon as clips dropped. Social feeds lit up with nostalgia posts about Friends and excited speculation about Alex and Paul's fate. Celebrity colleagues chimed in too. Industry insiders praised Reese for her producer instincts and Jen for being a set leader, who makes everyone feel loved. Media outlets framed the interview as sentimental, a soft moment amid hard headlines, while late-night hosts riffed on the rooftop, dance in Jon Hamm's hamminess. On fan forums, throwback gifs of Reese as Rachel's little sister trended alongside new screenshots of her and Jen beaming at each other on set. The overall tenor of reaction is warm. Viewers aren't just excited for plot, they're emotionally invested in watching two women they respect continue to evolve together in public. Beneath the easy laughter, there are small, revealing moments that didn't make the headline reels. Reese confessed she has zero experience with live audiences since that one Friends episode. She was so scared she vowed never to do it again, and that vulnerability stuck with her. Jennifer, who has navigated decades of fame, became the calming presence on set. She told Reese that messing up can be okay, even funny, because it makes people feel the humanity of the moment. Then there's Jon Hamm's bizarre little injury tale, the Hamminator, who's nothing if not committed, apparently walked into a glass door on Alex Levy's penthouse set and cut his head between shoots after battling food poisoning. Details like the cast taking unwanted jobs in between shoots, Jeremy Irons watching monitors with Jennifer and asking if they should try again, and Reese revealing she can't do nights. These are the backstage beats that make the show feel lived in, not manufactured. They also hint at a production environment where care and attention to actors' well-being actually exists, and fans notice that. Industry insiders I've spoken with say this kind of public tenderness is intentional and powerful. One former showrunner tells us that when two bankable stars show genuine affection for each other on camera, it translates to higher audience trust. Viewers are likelier to sit through a messy plot if the lead actors feel genuine. Casting Jeremy Irons and bringing in expected film heavyweights signals Apple's play for prestige TV recognition. Insiders believe awards voters respond to elegant risk-taking, and Season 4's mix of juicy tabloid-style plotlines with layered, actor-driven character work is designed to straddle commercial buzz and critical weight. Another casting source notes that Reese's presence as both actor and producer attracts layered talent. Actors want to work with people who understand both sides of the camera, and Jennifer's reputation for building a loving set culture keeps top talent coming back. Bottom line, this partnership isn't accidental. It's a strategic creative alliance with emotional authenticity that can be leveraged for publicity, prestige, and longevity. For Jennifer Aniston, the interview reinforces a public image she's carefully curated for years. Accessible, generous, and quietly commanding. She's no longer just the Rachel from Friends. She's a mentor and a leader who builds sets that feel like family. For Reese Witherspoon, it's a validation moment. The nervous young actress who ducked stage lights is now an industry force who can walk onto a major show and still feel and show her humanity. For the morning show itself, this chemistry is a ratings asset. Season 4 doesn't just promise drama, it promises emotional truth. Two women who have each survived Hollywood's peaks and troughs, now playing complex versions of themselves with a real-life bond that translates into richer performances. Career-wise, expect both women to continue to shepherd projects that prioritize female leadership and layered storytelling, and expect their combined influence to attract prestige collaborators and even awards attention if they lean into the celebrity vulnerability we all responded to in this interview. Think back to other on-screen pairings that became lasting friendships, and not all of them turned out as cleanly as you'd hope. What sets Jen and Reese apart is the visible continuity. They checked in 25 years later, and their affection hasn't dimmed. Unlike tabloid friendships that fray under pressure, this one seems to have strengthened because it was always rooted in a small act of kindness. Compare this to other Hollywood besties stories that burned bright and faded. This sisterhood is quieter, slower burning, and grounded in mutual professional respect. And when you compare Jennifer's role here to her earlier public persona, the fun, flirty Rachel of the 90s, you see an arc toward leadership and mentorship that many of her peers have either embraced or resisted. Reese's arc is similar, from ingenue to powerhouse producer who nurtures talent. Together, their relationship is a model, a blueprint for how longevity in Hollywood is often less about headlines and more about consistent, mutual support. So what's the takeaway? In a town that sells reinvention, Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon offer something rarer: consistency. Their friendship makes Season 4 feel less like a ratings play and more like an emotional chapter in both their careers. Whether you're tuning in for rooftop dances, office betrayals, or tender scenes between two women who actually adore each other, the show now carries a human promise. These aren't manufactured BFFs for a press cycle. This is a sisterhood that started with a small kindness and grew into something that, on screen and off, keeps giving. If you want more USA Pulse's deep dives, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that bell, because we'll be watching every ripple this season creates, and yes, we'll be here to spill all the tea.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.